નહીં પણ ગઈકાલથી બહુ જ પવન બહુ હતો ને રેન વેરી હેવી વિન્ડ. ઘણા બધાની ફેન્સ પણ પડી ગઈ.
Yeah. Okay. We are on the internet, huh? Or YouTube.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
જય
Salalitaben.
સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Sachidanand.
Okay, Deepakanandji.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Yeah.
Deepakanandji, please call Sri Mantra while I do other stuff.
Jai Sachidanand. Namo
Jai Sachi.
Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Loi Savasahunam.
Namo Loi Savasahunam.
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
એસો
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Savapavappanasano.
Savapavappanasano.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Mangalanam cha Savesam.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand. Jai Sachidanand. Okay. We are talking last time. We talked quite a bit about
We lost you, Rajni Bhai.
I think he got disconnected.
Yeah. Let him come. He will join again.
There he is. He's back.
is anybody
What
quite
happened?
on food? I don't know. I got lost.
Okay.
Okay. We were talking
You
about
said last week, what was
Kalam.
it? You said?
Last time we were on the Kalam 7 on food. We had talked quite a bit on food. Does anybody have comments or experience or the taste during the last week? No?
Actually, I have one comment. I mean, this is, see, we've been talking about this column, I think, last couple of weeks, last 2 times we've been talking.
Correct.
And it so happened there was a lot of discussion that was going on. And I was just observing, and I had a question. For 3 weeks, I had this question. And then I said, okay, because there were quite a few discussions I was listening in. And my question was about the sattvic food. Okay, I was going to ask that. And as though, Deepakanandji heard me, he just talked about it, touched upon, clarified all that last week. I couldn't help sharing this with you because this was something which I wanted to ask. It had been in my mind. And then, he just addressed everything last week. I said, okay, there is somewhere, some telepathy, something is going on, I felt very happy. I just wanted to share that with you.
What was your
Prasad-ji,
question?
I will try to share one thing in this. Dada Bhagwan has said, this is the science of life, science of Akram Vignan, what he has revealed, that whatever you need, whatever happens, there is science behind it, and normally whatever you need, it will come to you naturally. You never asked, I never thought, and see, it came out and that was what you needed. Even in our life, things do happen like that, but because of our obstructions, of our mistakes, they come as an obstacle and you don't get that.
That's very true,
Also,
very true.
at times you will forget asking the question.
Mhm.
That is also there. So that's what.
Thank you.
Jai Satchidanand.
Yes,
Anybody
Sachidan.
else?
There is something else I wanted to share in this group because this does not have anything to do with the columns we discussed. We are discussing right now. If you would permit me, I would just go ahead and mention this. This is again an experience.
No, sure. We can talk
qu-
about any other topic, no problem.
Okay, quite a while ago, I had put forth a question saying that, I was being hounded by the IT department. I don't know, like, if any one of you remembered that. And then, Pulinanandji said that it is quite possible that in your Purva Janma, you must have kind of offended somebody, or, that's the reason why it is, coming to you for no fault of yours. Now he said, do pratikraman. And I've been doing that quietly. And you won't believe, after 22 years, okay, I mean, this relates to some 2001, 2002. After 22 years, the IT department decided to take it up, and I receive a call from the department, which never happens. Very, very rarely it happens. And this gentleman called. He was so sweet. He was extremely kind. And he listened to me and he said, I looked through all your records and then I realized that, everything is okay. And, he asked me a few questions and he said he'll raise it up to the Joint Commissioner and they will try to resolve. And I was just thinking the power of this particular, whatever you conveyed, what I have been doing. And I thought I must share it in this forum. Thank you so much. And
Once again, I'll just like to clarify over here that science of Akram Vignan, what Dada Bhagwan has revealed, he has revealed such important and vital aspect of our life and living that the world is our reflection. And when we change ourselves, our reflection will change. So the world is not acting of their own. It is our reflection. And when we change ourselves, the world has to change. And he has showed the path, the way how we can change ourselves, how we can correct ourselves. So outside has to get corrected. It may take a little while, but when you are doing something rightly, the results are bound to happen. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Thank you.
Jai Satchidanand. Anybody else has any questions or anything on columns?
Everybody is eating nicely, heavily, enjoying their food.
More conscious
One
of
thing, huh?
is mindful eating now.
Correct. I have noticed one thing, that if you eat wrongly, you are sick because of your incorrect eating. And the day you start eating rightly, you will gradually come out of all your problems. That's what. So if you are sick, if you are not well anywhere, whatever way, there is something wrong in your food.
Right.
Yeah, I have something to say. May I?
Yeah, Shailaji.
Yes.
Jai Satchidanand, Deepakanandji,
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand
Jai
Mahatma.
Satchidanand.
Yeah, I think what you told last time, Deepakanandji, about you shared your experience dieting and how you lost the weight. That was a big motivation for me to try that, start doing it. So because of that, that motivated me to be more controlled in my, when I'm eating. So that in turn also made me more aware of what I was eating. And I think it has helped me a lot. At least this week I've started doing that. So I think it'll also be good for my health and also to bring more awareness while heating. I felt because every time I put something in my mouth, now I've started becoming more. It started with what you mentioned last time. You shared your experience about following the Ayurvedic diet and losing weight. So since I need to lose a lot of weight, so I think that has really helped me. There's a comment.
In fact, you know what had happened if I just recall all through my lifestyle and what had happened. Gradually the food has changed. I was eating garlic, onion, potatoes, other stuff also, and it gradually got eliminated. And now further, this elimination has really helped me stay healthy, stay focused, and very good results.
Yes.
And you know that inner stamina has also increased.
Mm.
Along with that, food regime is definitely a very vital aspect of our existence, not only as a living being, but even as a human, and for our progress in spiritual path, how it becomes helpful. Quantity, quality, both at the same time. You must have some kind of exercise, and the best one is walking.
Mm.
And the Vaidraj, the Ayurvedic doctor, has recommended everyone they must walk for 1 hour to 1.5 hours daily.
Mm.
And if that is not there, in their language they say that your inner body temperature goes down if you don't walk. I mean, if you don't do any activity, basically. And the result of that is your digestion goes down, your all other aspect of our body functionality goes down, and you start having problems.
Mm.
Indigestion, acidity, and when that acidity enters your bloodstream, that is where you get heart attack, blood pressure, kidney problems, liver problems, all that. So very nicely he has explained, and it is working so well.
Mhm.
Yes. And okay, Meera has something, I guess. Yeah. May I continue? Just it has got nothing to do with the Kalam, but something which was posted today. It said because you were talking about how it's a reflection, the world. So this, I think, says it. It says at times people are sullen. That is because your thoughts reach them and affect them.
Mm.
I guess this is what we are talking about, right? It's a reflection.
Mhm.
The whatever our thoughts are, that is what is being reflected. Is that how am I interpreting it right, Deepakanandji?
1 minute, let me see. Where did it come?
Today in the morning, Rajnikant Dada he posted in the Global Satsang group. I think he also posted it in the other one.
What was that?
At times, people are sullen. That is because your thoughts reach them and affect them.
Okay. Yeah. Today it came.
Yes, it came today.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about how it is a reflection, so that's what I was reminded of this.
At times people are sullen. Okay. Let me see. So it's like, you know what it means at home? Certain times we look at other people at home, their faces are sullen. They don't seem to be very happy.
Yes.
Like they are upset.
Yes.
So what Dada has said, that it is reflection of our inner thoughts, negative thoughts for them. So the moment you change from inside, you are happy, you are willing to accept everything, you accept the other person, you don't see them at fault. All these things, brings a kind of, I will not say a smile, but a glow, a different glow on your face naturally, and definitely that will reflect on others also.
Mm.
So we have to be very mindful on what we think, because most of the time what happens, we feel other people are, all the time, we feel others are at fault.
Yes.
And when that feeling is there, that itself creates such a dangerous negative vibration, and it reaches others, especially at home. And even if I have any negative vibration for anyone 3,000 miles away, then it reaches them. The effectiveness and communication of our mind, that's why it said, our mind is like a radar.
Mm.
It reaches, it's a transmitter and a receiver both. And we must be very mindful of what we think about others or what thoughts we get about others.
Yes, this.
That,
Mm-hmm.
that,
This is it.
Yeah,
yeah,
लोगों
this
के
is what, yes.
आपके विचार उन तक पहुंच कर उन्हें असर करते हैं. Correct. Same thing. Yeah.
So it is said, when you are at peace, then everything will be peaceful for you, and around you it will be all normal and okay.
Yes. It's a very big lesson. Yeah. That's why we say the fault always lies with us. Yes.
So the world is our projection. Pindeso Brahmande.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
As is our pin, so is our universe, our surrounding. But we are so much used to looking at others, blaming others, finding faults with others. So it becomes impossible to overcome that. But as we keep connected to satsang and all this wisdom, it works naturally, and you don't seem to forget that. And it's like a ready reckoner for you. It always guides you all the time. Under circumstantial pressure, maybe you will slip sometime. But then, the moment that pressure goes away, this wisdom will speak for itself. Why Rani is not saying anything?
Yeah, there's
Is she angry with us?
Meera wanted to say something.
Okay, Miraben, your question?
Yes, actually, I have an experience I wanted to share. This is on top of everyone else's experience that they've already shared. But one of the things that I've noticed with this, specifically with food, and specifically with everything else, is that anything that Meera thinks that Meera is doing or not doing. So let's say I say, oh, I'm not, there's one specific type of cookie that I like, which is a butter cookie with all this sugar and just scrumptious, and they come in these small little things. I'm like, oh, this is the best thing. So I told herself, Meera, you are not going to eat this. But what happens? It always comes in front of Meera's eyes, like a, I don't know, like it's angry at me. So it's always coming. So then Prajna Shakti took over, and Prajna Shakti said, okay, this is Vyavastha. You have to step back. You have to say, this is what Meera has called upon herself from so many janmas, that she has to look at this. Meera does not have doership, but what Meera puts into her bhav and says, Meera does not want to eat this, that actually has started working. So now these big, like pots of cookies that I have, especially during Christmas, it is the same. I'm not eating it, or Meera is not eating it, but Meera understands. Meera's Prajna Shakti keeps knocking and saying, Meera, you have to keep that bhav that, and I asked Dada for strength also, that I don't want to eat this. And it has helped. But any time in Meera's life, and then I did some more reflection, or some more thought processes came out. Anytime Meera thinks Meera is the doer, Meera got a dog. Meera thought Meera got a dog. Meera did not get a dog. That dog was supposed to come in Meera's life at some point. Anytime anything happens, Meera always thinks she's the doer. And when that happens, what is really bad is that Meera thinks she's not following the Agnas properly. But the issue is not that. The issue is that the fact that Meera thinks she's a doer is in and of itself not following the Agnas. And that was my big epiphany. Once I let it go and left it to Dada and just prayed to Dada for strength, let me follow your Agnas, let me not think that Meera is the doer, everything worked itself out. Did that make any sense? It made a lot of sense when I was thinking it in my head. But yes.
Great.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. See, it is like somebody will come in our life only if there is some connectivity. So our attempt is always towards amicable settlement. Why? Because our goal is amicable settlement only. It's like, don't take it otherwise, but association with animals, right? It's fine. You be nice to the animals, and animals are also very good with you and all that. But I always check from Dada's darshan, understanding, that many times kids came, and they always wanted to keep some animal pets and all that. It's not necessary. Let them live in their habitat, natural habitat. We bring them at home, and we make them like humans, treat them like humans. But it is not necessary. Let them do. But then these animals are that's what I said, there are some ways, some connectivity, some distant relatives only who come into your life. But gradually, we must, if possible, because these animals and all that stuff, that's not good for our development, human development. Because our association, then it's like you like the animals more than humans. At times people say my dog is better than my children, because dog listens to me, children don't listen to me.
Oh, yes. But the big epiphany is with this dog and with everyone is that because of Dada's vision and Dada's Jnana, it just happens. It is, I have some Purva Janma, something I have to settle with this being. And I do
fine. But this is what, it's like at times you take more care of the dog than your children.
No. So my children will tell me if I'm doing that.
That raises a big question, and it should raise a question within ourselves. Am I doing something right or wrong?
Yes.
That's all.
Jai Satchidanand. But I had to...
The one thing is that if you stay alone, it is bad. If you stay with animals, it is bad. You stay with people, and you will learn all the lessons of your life.
So next Janma, I want to stay with Dada. That's what I pray. That is only the best.
Correct.
That'll be the best. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Okay, Rani. Rani?
What happened?
Yeah, no problem.
Let me just go check.
Okay, Rani is not there? Yeah. Oh, Rani sent a
Not
message.
letting me
Oh,
unmute.
okay. Not letting you unmute.
No, everybody can unmute themselves.
Doing it on her phone.
Yeah. We are not blocked. Everybody can. Oh, she left.
Is there?
She's she's
But
going to try.
she's logging in again.
Yeah, right, correct. While we are waiting, everybody knows that we are doing some Samayik on the 5 Indriyas, senses. So one of them is taste. So that is helping out a lot in reminding what we are eating, not per name of the food, but per the tattvas that are in the food. So that is really helping a lot. She came and left again. So anyway, you want to talk a little bit about our Samayik while Rani is trying to come back, Deepakanandji, on especially.
Until she comes, yeah. So this 5 sense suffering is outcome of a karmic effect, and it is experienced through the 5 senses. We took the touch first, and then taste, and now we are on scent. Now all these 3 are so effective. The reason is every moment some or the other sense suffering is always there. Whether it is liking type or disliking type, that matters as per the karmic effect. But that is always there. And if we have to stay away from its effects, because otherwise if you are not vigilant, if you are not alert, then it is definitely going to take its toll and affect you. So here we must always be vigilant to view this suffering through our extrasensory perception as pure soul perception. So when it is perceived through pure soul vision, then very nicely, clearly, we can remain separate and we can perceive the suffering. We can perceive the suffering, its arrival, the way it rises, it reaches the peak, it comes down, it vanishes. So itself, by its very nature, that it comes, it rises, it increases, it decreases, and it goes away. Whereas extrasensory perception remains all the time, and it identifies and recognizes these suffering aspects of our 5 senses very nicely. And in fact, that is the reason in the Shiva temple we have turtle kept outside. Outside the Shiva temple means main portion of where the Shiva Linga is there. This is kept outside. So it says that if you want to reach Shiva state, then first you have to bodily, there is body level celibacy is through the Nandiji, the bull which is kept outside facing the Lord. We are facing Shiva. And it is said that people say that if you want to pray to Shiva, then you talk to the bull in its ear. What it means that you can reach Shiva through celibacy only. So if you are not following celibate life, then it doesn't reach. Or if you want to reach and send our desires or feeling or prayers to Shiva, that it becomes effective with LVD. And then further the total escape of vice and celibacy.
I'll get
Total
the chair. Please sit
celibacy
down.
is Hanumanji, and reach a pure soul state and its experience. You have
Go.
Ganapati, Kanu
Go, I'll take
Ganesha,
care of them.
and Ganesha is indicative of Agna following, that is obedience. Obedience is equally very important. In fact, the ultimate experience is only through strict obedience of master's Agna. To remain obedient to your master. Basically, okay? Raniji?
Very good. Yeah. So, this has helped quite a bit in everyday life for the separation part, especially the food part. Okay, is anybody else on food? Rani cannot somehow join, so Deepakanji,
Now she has joined on Lalitaji's computer or phone maybe. Okay, go ahead.
Jai Sachidanand, everybody. Jai Sachidanand, Deepakanandji, and Mahatmas.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Bit of a sore throat, but I wanted to share. First of all, Deepakanandji, your story last week was very inspirational, I think, for all of us in terms of the weight loss and being mindful of what you're eating. And so I hope to be like you.
Yes, because most of the time I hear from people that, oh, that's not possible for me. Forget it. I'm not going to follow that. When it is a question of life and death, almost like that, still you want to stick on to your food regime. Very surprising. Okay, go ahead.
Right. So the experience I had is it was at work, but it was Kalam #1, and there was a coworker there. She's not on my team, she's on another team. And our teams have been like feuding for 2 years. It's been such a kind of confrontational thing. And Rani was also getting wrapped up in that about, giving opinions and all of the satsangs. And through the being aware of your true inner thoughts, and I think it goes back to what Saila's internet, the thing that came today, the message was that really and truly the perception was not correct. The perception of this person in real relative why this is happening and settling the account being in the Agna was not correct. So I had my boss, he pulled me in to meet with this girl to square everything away. And I did not feel qualified to do something like this because, like I said, it's been a 2-year thing with the other team members, not necessarily me and her, but the teams at large. And so what I did, I went to the puja room and I just did namaskar to Dada, and I surrendered, truly surrendered. And I just, asked for the strength to remain in the 5 Agnya, and corrected the mistake that, Rani's been perpetuating this through incorrect perception, incorrect understanding. And so last week we had a call, and it was the smoothest because, like you said, it's like her face would be sullen, she'd be defensive, all of these things. We would be defensive. This time, with that surrendering, it was like a completely different experience. So much so that my boss actually thanked me. He said, I don't know what you did. I don't know what happened, but it went so well. It's like 2 years worth of bad blood just went away. And so I wanted to share that with everybody of the power of that surrender, because my surrender was also like kacha, it was like I would be doing namaskaram, but thinking about what I'm going to say in the meeting and all that before. And this time it was a true, like, Dada, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please just handle this situation. And I think our intellect blocks us from that surrender a lot of times. It gets in the way. How can you say that? How can you not be prepared? But I think it's truly possible, because that whole meeting, we all remained calm. We were able to come to some solutions. And, I don't have those feelings for her, negative feelings, any longer, or at least at the moment. And seeing them as faultless, that she is doing everything she thinks is correct, and that is correct. Everything that's happened is correct, So I think it was like a culmination of many of the Kalams coming together, but also eating less, made me more alert. Like when I eat too much, I'm actually like doing really poorly at my job as well. So it was like multiple columns all coming together, and, it came up with a solution that none of us would have come up with on our own. But I just wanted to share that experience with the group. Jai Sachidanand.
Right. Jai Sachidanand. First thing, we are not giving any opinion, but those opinions which are resident within us, they pop up when we come across those situations. So we get an opportunity to observe our opinions and correct them. That is there.
Yes.
Also, seeing people at fault. Now, because we are so much under influence of our intellect and sticking on to rules, do's and don'ts, and this is right and this is wrong. It is very common experience that we can put anyone at fault very easily, considering these rules of do's and don'ts. And as per Dada's vision and science of liberation, Akram Vignan, we know that we have to learn to handle every individual as file and as a pending account and resolve amicably in a balanced way. Most of the time we feel that intellectually, if we think and do things as per our understanding, it should work. But when those things don't work, then sometimes a situation comes and you start believing that probably I'm wrong. So I must just surrender to Dada and tell Dada, do whatever you think is right. Now I'm not going to do.
Exactly.
And so it's like in such condition, when you surrender and you drop your ego, and that's how what happens is Dada starts acting, Dada starts working within you. And you know that we say that perfect humility and I know nothing. So that many times when we are under influence of our intellect, the humility portion is not there. So we are at times quite arrogant, cutting edge words come out. And because we are so intellectually strong and precise in a way, worldview wise, we don't let the other person say anything. So we trap them intellectually through rules, through do's and don'ts. But then that's not going to work. It's like we are dealing through our head. And dealing through our head means it is going to end in a clash only. But if you deal from the heart level, then everything will become amicable. The other person will also understand his or her mistake, and we are giving them chance to correct themselves. Here, when it is dealt to head, then it is like we are just attacking the other person, point blank range. And that doesn't allow that person to correct, to change, to open. And that's how things keep going bad. I mean, at times it becomes back to worse. That's what we experience. And the moment that realization comes and you say, I had enough, I tried enough, and since things have not settled, I was wrong. Oh, Dada, please intervene and handle the situation. Now I'm not going to rely on my head, my beliefs, my intellect. Whatever you say, that's why he said, the moment you start living and dealing through your heart, the whole picture of the world will change. First thing is that you start accepting the other person as he or she is. And secondly, your interactions, verbal interaction and behavioral part also becomes very amicable and humble, which is very important in all this because see the world is they know only head, they know the language of head only. They have heart, but heart is thoroughly covered and overpowered by intellect and head. And we have that opportunity that God has opened our heart. So we must start using that heart, and definitely you will see and experience a different world around you. Because if you have changed, the world is going to change for you. Because the world is your reflection. Jai Satchidanand.
Hey, Satchidanand.
Right, Satya. One thing I want to add there also, at workplace, you have to be very conscious. I know that in your case, what is that or not, competition and comparison. Okay. If you are for any reason trying to compare or compete and compare just to get yourself higher in your boss's mind, okay, that could do harm to you. So only thing, our ethics, sincerity, morality, hard work. That was my motto. I didn't care about anything else. And then I didn't have any problem with anybody or any meeting. I had to go to meetings with presidents and vice presidents of utilities and all that. No problem. They'll try to beat you down, but then because you're working hard, you're doing everything, so they don't have too much against you. So that's one of the things I want to share also my experience. Yeah. So look your back. Maybe if you have some competition comparison against that, it may have reflected on your behavior, your action, and not to understand the other person, not to accept the other person,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so that is very good. But like Deepa said, if you find everybody knows that, hey, they can do whatever they want to do. I'm doing what I'm expected to do. I'm hardworking, and it will show up.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Okay, Deepakanji, now we have some time, so why don't you introduce the 8th column?
Yeah, Jai Satchidanand. The eight comes deals with people, our dealing, whether the person is present or absent, whether the person is living or dead. It's our common practice and that's how our nature has become that we keep talking about people most of the time in their absence. And even when if the person is gone and he has passed away, and we don't try to uh, how do you say that like uh, narrate his or her qualities as they are, but we narrate it otherwise. So, and at times we are very violent, attacking kind of expressions also come out for those people. Now, this is the whole path of uh, experiencing and being happy. The whole purpose is I want to be happy and I must experience the permanent happiness. And if I am trying to talk negative about others, especially in their absence, or even if that person is not living, then we must correct. So, what happens with this column, with this code number 8? My vigilance increases very sharply, and it is like when we make tea, you always strain the tea and give. So this acts like a strainer in relation to what we are talking negative about people absent or people not living, which is a very common practice. And whatever we say, it is like what we believe. It is kind of our assertion, and that is very dangerous because it releases negative vibration toward the other person, and we are the source. And after doing all this, we expect that I must be happy, I must experience happiness, forget it. So it's like I want to go in the north, but I'm traveling in the south. I'm heading southward. I will never reach north. So if I want to be happy, I must ensure that all my living aspects are positive and not hurting anyone. No scope of any kind of violence or hurt anyone, even through such dealing. And such expressions are very common. So when we restate and we keep praying and saying this 8 diamond, 8 column, then our conviction sharpens, becomes very firm. So how will it happen that because we are doing this column, we are praying, so it will start by, we may utter such words, we may deal like that. Maybe that awareness will come after a few days. But then, as we are doing this heartily, the time will reduce. And a time will come, moment will come that you are about to say something negative about someone, and this awareness of this column 8 will stop you saying that. And at the same time, whatever mistakes are committed in the past, you will correct yourself. Gradually, it is like because the world is totally innocent, not at fault at all, and the world is my reflection. So whatever is happening with me and around me is result of my reflection, my photo. What is going on in my mind or in my body or within me. So when I understand that, then immediately I will see the other person as a mere instrument of nature. I will see the person innocent, and all these verbal wrangle, I will say, and at times even behavior will definitely change, and also it will remind me of my past mistakes, whatever I have done knowingly, unknowingly, and that's how it helps me cleanse myself. And this is very common with people who will live or we spend a lot of time at work, because half of the time, like 8 to 10 hours, we spend at work. So uh, these uh, negative feelings is very common with our close relatives or close people, family people at home and work people. And when this is rectified, these two cases, they become amicable and balanced. Your life will be always happy and cheerful. Jai Satchidanand.
Deepakanji, why don't you cover three major things that we normally need to be aware of Avarnavad Aprada Vinay?
Avarnavad means you're not narrating the person as he or she is. Otherwise, Aprad means you're talking absolutely negative and attacking the other person. And Aviday means you are disrespectful, uncourteous, disrespectful. So, with the pure soul vision, when you start seeing other as pure soul, then that um, courtesy and respect will come naturally in all your deeds. But when that is missed or that is not, the pure soul is not seen, it's not in your vigilance, then even that basic respectful dealing or courteous dealing will also be not there. And then talking about person revealing someone's qualities or you're trying to express someone, then that will also not there. Whatever points or whatever good thing or whatever qualities that person have, you will not narrate those as they are, but otherwise. So gradually it will happen that when you become vigilant and use this, start praying, doing this column number 8, it will increase your vigilance, number 1, towards seeing that the person, pure soul within that person. So that gets reflected in whether we are respectful or courteous with them. Number 2, whenever point comes, are we talking about them as they are or otherwise? You come to know. And the third one, you attack that person. And that too, in their absence. In their absence, we are bad. And in their presence, we try to show off and do everything good. So this contradiction must be eliminated. And this 8 column really helps us become courteous, become respectful, become positive, and free ourselves from all the negativities which is there in our mind toward the other person. And this is especially with people at home and work, because where we spend a lot of time, where there is a lot of interaction, these feelings are very common. And we want to rectify it at our home front and our work front, because these are the major times we spend with people. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Okay. So let us work on that on column number 8. Of course, all the columns next time, so we can share our experiences. Okay. Anybody has any other thoughts anymore?
It's like when you serve tea without straining the tea, just imagine what's going to happen. So sometimes just for a test cases, you serve tea without straining your tea. My God, see the consequences. Okay, Rani?
I have, Jay Sachidan, one question about the once people die, like speaking, because, even in the States, they say, don't speak ill of the dead. But my question is, like we said earlier, that but negative thoughts can cause a person to become sullen. Does something, if we say something about somebody who has passed on, does those things reach that person's soul in their new life? Does it cause them hurt in their new
Yes.
life?
That is also there. And, as a rule, as a world view rule, you're not supposed to talk about someone who is dead.
Right, right.
And certain things, like even when you follow such rules, then we will be happy. And scientifically, what data has revealed, as you said, it reaches the person wherever that person has gone. So, why cause trouble for ourselves? On
Right.
one side, we want to be happy, cheerful, and on the other side, we keep hurting people one way or the other. So, this is like it increases our vigilance on what we are doing, and it corrects ourselves. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Salya Ben?
Celia has something.
Yeah, just what Rani mentioned just now. We do talk about a lot about we have like memories of like for my father, for instance, and we talk about what he did and many instances, many things that we experienced together. And there are good memories. So is that also bad, like remembering, or is it just we're not talking ill, but we're not talking, we're not saying, I mean, we're basically just reliving those things, right? Is that also wrong?
See one thing. Anybody, if someone is in our memory and we keep remembering that person,
Yeah.
here Dada has revealed very nicely that unless you have any kind of likes or dislikes towards any person, you will remember that person. And if you don't have any likes or dislikes, that person will never come in your memory. But if there is any connectivity, like Dada said, I don't have any likes or dislikes towards anyone. But his connectivity or his connection with people is there because of his desire of doing welfare of others. Right? So people would come to him for their welfare, and that's how he will interact with them. But the moment they leave, I mean, the person is out of his sight, there is no memory of that person. He will not remember anyone. And the moment that person is there in front of him and he starts dealing with him, he gets to know everything. When did he first meet him, the second time, third time, fourth time, all these times, whatever interactions were there. And now that he's asking certain things, it will be sum total of all his past interactions. But we don't have that level of awareness and vigilance, but this is what it is. So if someone is coming in our memory, then there is definitely some kind of likes or dislikes, some opinions are there. Then only they will come in our memory and knock the door of our mind.
Okay.
And the best thing, one level or one kind of, we will say meditation or samayik. Samayik is a better word. He used to ask us to do that whoever comes in your thoughts, whoever you remember, you recall that person and see him with two viewpoints, by relative viewpoint, so and so, by real viewpoint, so and so, I mean, by real viewpoint, pure soul. And along with that memory, definitely something will pop up and it will say that, oh, this thing had happened, that thing has happened. And you correct them with the Agna. So what happens? Gradually, you are cleansing your likes and dislikes, any negativity which are there for that person. Because without that, they cannot come in your memory. They cannot come in your mind, in your thoughts. So this is how we can cleanse our mind. And that's very common and that's very easy. You have time for 5-10 minutes and you say, okay, whoever comes, knocks to your door of your mind, you see them with 2 viewpoints and 2 pratikraman. That's a wonderful thing. And very easy and very common and very effective too. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand, our time is up. So could you do 3 mantra everybody can follow?
Yeah. Namo Vitaragaya. Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Vajrayanam.
Namo Loe Savva Sahunam.
Namo Oe Sava Sahunam.
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
Esu Panchana Mukkaro.
Savva Pava Pranasano.
Sarvabhava Pranasano.
Mangalanam Cha Savvesim.
Mangalam Cha Savvesin.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Just to recall, whenever we are doing this 3 mantra, then we must read Hindi script, word alphabet by alphabet, and the way it is, as I says, it is very effective and it reaches, you get the benefit of the original 3 mantra when it was spoken by the Vitragas. So I've been experiencing this the time I heard about this, and it becomes very effective. So not to hurry finishing the 3 mantra, but be vigilant and keep reading even while you are uttering the mantra. Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand. Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.